while ago, I had the idea of inviting some of the young adults in to speak occasionally for their energy and enthusiasm, but also so that we could hear about the big impact that our youth programs have on our kids when they grow up and into adulthood, how they use the spiritual principles, what they take from here and make use of in their lives. And today we got to hear kind of the flip side, what volunteering and working with our children and youth means to us. And it's a huge, huge gift. So I'm really grateful that he talked to us, and there'll be more like that to come. The foundation for today's message is based on Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. It's actually from the beginning of the Sermon on the Mount, where just following Jesus' teachings of the Beatitudes. And he's telling his disciples and the people around, and us, you are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under a bushel basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. You are the light of the world. This whole service this morning is repeating and repeating that affirmation. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill stands out, and we are meant to stand out. A city on a hill is visible to everyone who looks in that direction. And why would anyone light a lamp and put a basket over it? It's not what it's intended for. It's intended to light up the room so that you can see what you're doing, right? And draw attention. That's the whole purpose for our life, is to shine, to be that Christ light that we are out in the world. Early this summer, I was excited. I heard that there was going to be a special concert at the State Fair, and I was excited about it. It was a Minnesota Public Radio concert through the Current radio station, and they were inviting in about 6 or 8 Minnesota groups, and it was going to be all afternoon and evening, local Minnesota talent, and they called it Music on a Stick. Everything at the State Fair is on a stick or deep fried, right? Well, of this lineup of 6 or 8 bands, there was one group that I really wanted to see, a group that my son Ben kind of turned me on to when he was in college, called Cloud Coat. And I'm not doing a big info commercial about them, but I am going to be talking about it quite a bit. They're just a very interesting group. There's about 8 members. John and I listened to some CDs of their music, and we really liked it. And the boys kept telling us, to get the full experience, you have to go and see them perform live, because it's very unique. So I ordered 4 tickets, and I invited my husband and my sons to join me at the State Fair for this concert. So there's, they started, I think, 8 or 9 years ago up in Duluth, and they're local from Minnesota. There's about 8 of them right now. 2 of the band members are actually professional artists, and the others are musicians. They sing, play guitar, bass, keyboard, trombone, trumpet, cello, violin. It's not your standard rock and roll band. It's different. I think they call themselves, I don't know where that is on here, something innovative anyway. They're not your standard performers. So we went, and it was an amazing concert. The artists set up big easels on both sides of the band. So the band's in the middle, and a man and a woman are on the side with these big canvases, and the easels actually spin, so they can spin their canvas. And during the performance, they paint a picture that they're inspired while the music is going on. Occasionally they set down their paintbrush and come and sing along or beat on a drum too, but primarily they're making art while the music art is going on. I like the messages too, the lyrics in their songs. They're about real things, real situations. not your standard rock and roll. One song might be about I love my mother and I love my father. One of their new ones is All I Need is a Good, Good Friend. Just really nice themes that we can all relate to. And their enthusiasm was incredible, and it was contagious, and the audience was all ages, from little kids on up to older than me. And their drummer, I thought, was really fun too. It reminded me of the Harry Potter books, the Weasley family, the red hair, and just this grin that wouldn't stop. He was just having such fun doing this performance. And all of us really enjoyed the concert. At one point, the leader, Craig Minowa, talked a little bit, and he explained that about 5 years previous, he had been in the grandstand in the audience with his dad. And it was sort of a bittersweet kind of thing for him, because they had just put his father in a nursing home that week for ALS. So very sad, and yet kind of a wonderful magnetism and accomplishment, because he'd sat there 5 years ago never dreaming that he would be the grandstand act in 5 years. From watching Garrison Keillor to being the center stage. So pretty remarkable. I looked up the band on the internet so that I could be able to talk to you kind of intelligently about who they were and what they're about. And I thought I just liked their music, but I like a whole lot more about them. Craig and his wife Connie, who's one of the artists, own and operate a non-profit recording studio at their home. And so all the profits that come from this studio, they donate to charities that are for environmental causes. Everything they use for their posters and CD production is recycled material. They live on an organic farm. The whole place is powered by geothermal energy. That's pretty incredible. I'm just telling you this because they are shining their light. They are living from the light that they are and the values and ideals that they hold. And I think it's really beautiful. We can look at that. So meanwhile, at the fair, John and Nick took off and got some corn on the cob, which was great. And Ben and I went over to the horticulture building. I love looking at the bees and, let's see, the orchids. My goodness, there's so many different sizes and shapes and colors. They're incredible, just like us. We also looked at the bonsai trees and tiny little trees that are 75 years old. And then the seed pitchers. You ever see the seed pitchers? Can you imagine how intricate, gluing each of those tiny little seeds in place to create a beautiful work of art? They're amazing. What I came away from that day was thinking of how many opportunities at the state fair and in our lives we have to show and be our light in the world. That was just an incredible experience of people's talents and abilities at the fair. Very, very amazing. We went there and it was like the attendance record of the world too. I think that Saturday of Labor Day weekend there were, it was 252,092 people there. Yeah, when you're walking down the streets, it was just like a wall of people in every direction. And it could have been overwhelming, but I carried this thought that I've been asking you to carry, is that everyone there was a divine light, a beautiful expression of God. And then it didn't become such a massive crowd. It became just a symphony of spirit. A really wonderful way to look at it. Speaking of crowds, my husband is right now in China. He's there for a couple of weeks for work. So while we were sleeping last night, he was walking on the Great Wall. And the day before that, he was at Tiananmen Square and the Forbidden City. He has the weekend off, and then he's back to work on Monday. I asked him about the crowds. I said, were they as thick as the state fair? And he said, there are so many people here you wouldn't believe. But in the Forbidden City is so huge that there are way more people, but they're spread out. Didn't seem quite as crowded. So that was just a really good day at the fair, and it ended up, we were on the bus riding back to our car, watching a beautiful sunset, and we all said, this is a good day. Right? And I'm always saying, it's a beautiful day in our consciousness. There was another beautiful day this week, not this one is too, but there was World Day of Prayer this week, which was awesome. World Day of Prayer falls on the second Thursday of September every year. It actually starts Wednesday night and goes to Thursday night. Unity centers across the world celebrate this occasion. And we did here. The prayer chaplains and the YOU got together and created just an incredible service in here Wednesday night. The YOU spoke some poems from different faith traditions. They lit 7 candles representing the 7 different continents on our planet. Let's see, some of our members got up and shared spiritual readings and poems from their native language, and then they translated them into English, and that was beautiful and deep, and just, it was so sweet to be together in the evening with candles, and on the center of the altar was a globe of the earth lit from the inside. And it reminds me, at Unity Village, you've probably seen pictures of the Silent Unity. The tower on Silent Unity is a 12-sided building with windows all around. And hanging from the ceiling of Silent Unity in that 12-sided room is a huge globe that's lit from the inside. So prayer and consciousness, energy, love, and harmony, we're sending that out to all the world. And just like the candles we could light here, Unity had virtual candles that we could light. If you went to unity.org, you could light a candle and see where other people had lit candles all across the world. Wonderful. Unity Village had a few events that were live streamed. They've been doing that more and more. So the opening ceremony Wednesday night while we were here was happening. Thursday they had a ceremony in the morning and in the evening too. And I tuned in for those. Just want to share a little bit from that. A minister on the morning one shared this. I don't know if it's from a poem or just a saying from Hafiz, and I love it. I know I've used it in meditation here before. I wish I could show you, when you are lonely or in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. Isn't that beautiful? And we are that astonishing light. That morning service, they had a soloist singing, and the lyrics I thought were just so good that I want to share them with you this morning. It's from a song called I Am Light by India Arya. You know that? You can watch a YouTube video of it, hear her singing. She's not on the video. But it's just really lovely. So here we go. These are the lyrics to I Am Light by India Arya. I am light. I am light. I am not the things my family did. I'm not the voices in my head. I'm not the pieces of brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made or any of the things that caused me pain. I'm not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light. I'm not the color of my eyes. I'm not the skin on the outside. I'm not my age. I'm not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light, all light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. Isn't that beautiful? Very wonderful. And it's so true. We're not defined by our past, we are more than that. We're not defined by our physical condition, we are more than that. We're not defined by our feelings or our life circumstances, we are more than that. We are the unchanging, eternal life of spirit. We are the light of the world. I'm going to skip a little bit of this because we are a little bit long today. When Jesus said, "You are the light of the world, and let your light shine before others," he was not asking us to go underground or put our light under a basket. He was calling us to stand up, to be the light, to be the light that we already are. He's calling us to be authentic, to be that precious jewel of light that we were born. We were born as that. So live from the light that you are and let your light shine. One day this week, Jasmine and I were on a walk. We were walking on Lexington Avenue by the Army Reserve up there. Just this big grounds where the Army Reserve can do training and that. And that day there was a helicopter flying all over with a big rope hanging down from it. And they call it, fast roping. The pilot is practicing and the soldiers are practicing being able to climb down this rope really fast so that they can touch down on the ground where the helicopter can't land. So this was going on, and it was kind of fascinating to watch. And why am I telling you this? It's because these soldiers and these pilots were practicing. These are intricate skills that they're learning, and you don't just read a book and know how to do it. You practice if you want to develop a skill. Learning takes practice and repetition. So, good news for you today, I'm not asking you to fly a helicopter or hang from a rope. I'm going to ask you to repeat some of the things that I asked you last week. We've been working with self-awareness, right? So continue with that this week. Being aware of your body, being aware of your mind, your thoughts, your emotions, just as you go through your day-to-day living. And also asking you to do a sitting meditation every day. And in that meditation also remember to be aware of your body and what thoughts come in, and then go back to your breathing. Do that body scan. Remember we talked about that head to toe. Just check in from the inside what's going on. And take time every day to breathe and be still and to really resonate with that light inside that you are. And this week, remember to let your light shine. So you might want to make a seed picture. If not, I ask you to do something that's meaningful to you, something that really feeds your soul. Take the time for that, to let your light shine, to be yourself, to be your authentic self, your amazing self, the amazing light that you are. And remember to see that light in yourself and others around you. So, the astonishing divine light within me honors and cherishes the astonishing divine light